I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can.
The incognito. We haven't got the injury report.
Oh.
So anything you want him?
He's getting better. He did not practice today, and we'll see how he feels at the end of the week. We're still hopeful that he'll play, but he didn't practice today.
Hey, Jon, but beyond statistics, which are obviously out for everyone to see, the quarterbacks you've had, like, what are the best ones for you that make other people better around them? And you talking Derek in that realm, beyond just numbers that guys get?
What does the quarterback do to make people better?
Beyond just, this guy had 1,000 yards receiving, and people thought he should have had 500.
Well, in our system, he's a great communicator. We talk about RCE, recognition. You got to see what the coverage is. You got to see where the blitz is coming from. You got to be a great communicator. And you have to do the preparation. You have to know what you're saying and what to communicate. And that allows us to have a chance to execute in this system. And when it comes to preparation and recognition and communication, this guy's as good as anybody that I've been around ever. And I haven't been around everybody, but been around a lot of great ones. And that's a key, I think, to Derek's success.
Jon, I think this is our first time talking to you since David Wright has been with the team. What's it been like just to have him around so far?
Well, having had an opportunity to watch Seattle practice, sit in their meeting rooms, and be around them when they were really humming, the Legion of Boom, they were fun to watch. And there's a certain skill level that this man has. There's also a certain playing style and a certain vibe that he brings in a locker room. And he looks good now. He understands our system. He's getting reacclimated to the new terminology. Nothing stays the same. But our players, they respond to him. They gravitate towards him. He's an alpha presence. I think he and Perryman at that position have a couple ingredients that we need here.
Jon, I'm not going to ask specifics because you'll just lie to us or not answer. But if I would have told you at the beginning of camp you guys would be where you are now, would you have been pleased with that? Are you happy where your team is today?
We'll see after Monday night. I mean, we're happy where we are. We're not making any predictions. Baltimore is a great team, very unorthodox style of play. They have every defense I've ever seen, and they'll call it all in the first quarter. And offensively, they're running plays I've never seen before. With a quarterback, I've been around Randall Cunningham. I had a chance to compete against Mike Vick. They use this guy like it's he's a special weapon, this cat. And tough opener for us. That's all I care to talk about.
There's certain teams that on your schedule that we're going to find out how tough we are when we play those guys. And it just seems like the Ravens, the way they play, their kind of persona, are one of those teams. Are you curious to see what you guys are all about against a team like that, right off the bat like that?
Well, I don't question our guys' toughness. We got a tough team. We won some games last year and proved that. Certainly Baltimore is as strong and tough a football team as you will find. And we're more focused on our execution right now, our ability to recognize where the ball's going, where they're coming from. And we had a great week of preparation. But we have a lot of respect for Baltimore, and I think they've earned that.
When it comes to week one, can you over-prepare or psych yourself out?
Probably. I mean, we've, you got to look at last year's tape, Baltimore Ravens last year, the year before that. Then you got to look at the personnel this year. They got a first-round draft choice out of Penn State. You forget that Judon is in New England. You keep looking at them carefully, and they've had some changes, Brown is now in Kansas City at tackle. So they've had some changes too. We didn't play a lot of our guys much in the preseason. So this will be the first game they really have down after down after down, full speed live contact. Conditioning, ball security, all these things that you used to work on a little bit more extensively in training camp. I'm anxious to see where we are.
As much as people make about the quarterback, are you more impressed with their sustainability defensively over the years and how that happened?
Well, they're good, no doubt about it. They have a great system. I think it starts there. There have been a lot of guys walk through there and become head coaches on that side of the ball. Ozzie Newsome, one of the best of all time to do it. Not one of the best in the league, one of the best ever. And they've been drafting to fit that system year after year after year. They're massive inside and skilled outside. And they have smart guys that love football that allows them to be multiple. So, Martindale does as good a job as anybody's done that I've competed against. But they have the personnel to do it, and they can play a lot of different ways. It's fun to watch them play.
Coach,
Coach, when you look at the depth chart, two names that stick up on defense are rookies Trayvon Merrick and Nate Hobbs. What have you seen from the two guys throughout training camp in the preseason that make you feel as if the moment on Monday won't be too big for them?
I've seen progress. I've seen competitiveness against our offense every day. I saw Hobbs do it in games in the preseason. I know it's preseason, but the stage isn't too big for him. I think Merring is just going to get better and better as he acquires knowledge in this system. He's got to prove he can be a one-on-one eraser tackler against perhaps the best open field runner in the sport on Monday night. I can't wait to see it.
John, we've heard the word energy a lot with Gus Bradley coming here. As you approach game one, week one, confidence level with that unit. How are you seeing the defense with their confidence?
We made a lot of changes on defense. Gus has energy. Our previous staff had energy. We brought in new players with energy. I think we have more energy on that side of the ball. And when you watch Ngakoue, he might be one of the league leaders in energy. And when you put that with Max Crosby, you bring in the under tackles that we know can rush the passer, Quentin Jefferson, Solomon Thomas, Gerald McCoy. They have a lot of energy. They've proven that in their career. Perryman, KJ Wright, John Abrams finding his own now in his third season. He's finding his own groove right now. So, again, I don't want to stand up here and make any ridiculous predictions. I like our team. I like these guys a lot, and they're working hard, and I think it'll pay off for them.
A lot of teams that have a bunch of new players, they're very young, John. You brought in a lot of seasoned vets who are leaders. Will you talk about how happy you are at this point, at least with your leadership?
I don't know if we brought a lot in. We brought a couple guys in. Some of our leaders are young guys, our captains. But we're assuming we're going to get some leadership out of KJ, right? That's what he's always done. We assume we're going to get leadership out of Gerald McCoy. That's what he's always done. And we expect Josh Jacobs. We expect Alec Ingold and the men that were selected as captains to rise to another level.
John, as you mentioned, the Ravens are pretty complex with some of the stuff that they do up front on defense, just great pressure against the run. What kind of challenge can that present for any O-line, but especially for one like yours that has a couple young starters that this is their first experience?
We were just watching play against anybody last year. I don't care who the linemen were. They played the Pittsburgh Steelers twice a year. They played the Tennessee Titans twice last year. They present problems for every offensive line because McKinney's big. Calais Campbell's a big, strong, heart of a champion man. They've drafted well, and they've got big, massive people, and they can rotate them in there. And they line them up in different shades, different gaps. They got guys that can run and hit. And that's the problem they present. They come in waves, and they poke the ball out. I've never seen a guy like this Humphrey. It's Marlon Humphrey. I love this guy. He can poke the ball out, and I hate to use this Charles Woodson's name, but if Charles is listening, I think Marlon Humphrey can poke the ball out as good or better than Woodson. He poked it out 9 times last year. This guy's really one hell of a football player. He has my total respect. I like watching him play and compete.
The last time you guys had a home opener, obviously a couple of years ago in a different city, what are you expecting the atmosphere to be like?
I expect it to be exciting. I'm not going to have any other expectation. Raider fans in Las Vegas on Monday Night Football, I think it's the recipe for a real cool night. Hopefully we don't let them down.
Let's do one more, Paul. Growing up, John, a kid in Ohio, football junkie back in the 60s, early 70s. Could you ever imagine the NFL being in Las Vegas?
No way. I still sometimes pinch myself. You're out there looking at the mountains, Las Vegas. You see the Strip down there, and you're getting ready to play pro football here. It's really a credit to Mark Davis and a lot of people in this city that make this happen. Vegas is an exciting place, and like I said, I hope we give them a show that is worth the price.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
All right, have a good one.
First up in a while, you're going to take the field without a guy by the name of Rodney Hudson as your center. You've had a whole off-season, OTAs, training camp. How do you feel that relationship and that synergy is with you and Andre?
Yeah, the relationship I have with Andre has been great. Really since he came in as a free agent. I've had a great relationship with him. Love that guy. Fun to be around. Super smart. Works his tail off. And not playing with Rodney will be weird. But that's the NFL. Things change all the time. I've had a lot of people in the locker next to me in my 8 years. So, having a new center, definitely be weird, but it's something that you just got to do.
John mentioned the complexities of the Baltimore defense, all the things that they do.
Yep.
It's going to be your job, his job to kind of see that and call it. And you feel confident in that, in his regard.
Oh yeah, I mean we're always confident. No matter who we play, we got to go in with confidence and believe in what you can do. But they're very multiple. They do a lot of things. Great defensive coaches, defense coordinators, one of the best in the NFL. Some of their players are some of the best in the NFL. Great talents. Not just in the front seven, but on the back end as well. You hear a lot about the corners who played against Marcus when he was in Kansas City. He's got me a few times. He's a really good football player. Marlon. Those guys are really good, but the safeties are really good players too. No one talks about those guys enough. They're they're rangy. They love to come down a hill and hit. Very physical players. I don't think their players get enough credit either. But they're talented at all three levels, and their defensive coaches are always on it. Man, they're really good.
Asked John about this in terms of quarterbacks to make everyone better around them, but beyond just numbers, like this guy had 1,800 and should have had 11, whatever that is. Like in your mind, what makes quarterback have guys better around them besides stats?
You said so. Besides stats, what makes quarterbacks?
How do you make other people around, other than just getting them stats and stuff like that, beyond the numbers?
How does the quarterback make those guys better?
Yeah, you.
Oh, how do I make other guys better? Oh man, there's so much from a mental aspect of just one, encouraging guys when they do something right, but also being able to go and correct them. I do it in a different way than other people may do it, but we still get the job done, how we want it done. And I think that if you're always believing in people and you're always pushing them to be a better version of themselves, everyone's going to get better. That's what Coach Gruden has done with me, and that's what I try and do with my teammates is, whether it's Darren Waller or somebody else, I'll be like, hey, Darren, I think you could have broke it like this. The guy's one of the best players in the NFL, but that's my job. My 4 kids are counting on me to do my job. So are my teammates. So I'm gonna, every time I come in here, do my job, and whether it's Waller or Dylan Stoner, who's a practice squad guy, I'm gonna correct them, and I'm gonna go and encourage them and love on them and push them to be the best version of themselves all the time. And so that's, to me, you could get into X's and O's, you can get into film, you can get into all this kind of stuff, but to me, pushing people to be the best version of themselves is what I try and do.
Derek, you haven't always had a plethora of weapons around you, and you do now. They can't double team everybody. How much as a quarterback is that a comfort?
Yeah, it's nice. I think it's nicer for those other guys. When they play alongside Darren Waller. When it's third down, they play on the opposite side of Hunter Renfrow. All those things. They get one-on-ones, and teams, they'll try and double them and then put their best corners on the guys they're not doubling and doing things like that. So there's a chess game that goes along with it, but you always want more. More weapons. Anybody. Even at the quarterback position, having Marcus. Being able to run with him, and we can run the wing tee if we have to. It's nice to have just multiple on offense as well.
Without having any preseason action, how quickly do you think the first team offense can get going and gelling quickly?
I mean, hopefully from the beginning. I feel like the way that we practice and practicing against other teams, and then looking at the way that we practice, it's as close to game-like as it can get. And preseason games. I mean, yeah, they're live tackling, but that no one really shows much. It's not really schemed up. It's not really, you're not really getting the best versions of what they would really do. You know what I mean? And so that's why I always felt that those, what do you call them, the joint practices, those are like gold. So when we had that with the Rams, I felt like those reps for us were kind of like our preseason. Now they can't tackle me, even though I went to the ground a few times. It's one of those things where it's not live bullets, but it's as close as it gets because everyone's competing. Like, okay, someone's in town, we're going to go. So I feel like we got so much out of that, and it's practice, so they'll show more. You know what I mean? They're not hiding stuff from all eyes to see. So I think that hopefully we'll be able to go, but we got to go do it.
Ever since the start of the summer, it's been pretty evident that Max Crosby was taking a step forward, as a leader, if not as a player too. Just what stood out about watching his progression over the last 3 years?
One of the most beautiful things for me in the last couple of weeks was Max came up to me when I was walking out, and he was like, "Bro, I've never been a captain at any level." And I looked at him, I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Dude, this means so much to me." And me, this is my 8th year, and for 8 years I've been able to do that for this team. Comes with the position, but you've been able to do that, right? And sometimes you take for granted those little things. And it was like a reality check for me, like, bro, this means so much. You know what I mean? Because the team vote. And I told him, I said, Max, you proved it on and off the field every day. With everyone knows his story off the field and what he's been able to accomplish personally. And on the field, we've been able to see what he's accomplished this offseason. No one's worked harder than that guy. In the weight room, even on days where we don't have lifts, like AJ's got to tell him, like, we're not lifting today, Max, go rest. Like he has just taken his game and his leadership to such a high level that, man, I'd follow that guy anywhere. You know what I mean? And he inspires me. Just him having that little conversation with me and saying that, it just like, it made everything worth so much more, because it meant so much to him, So just being around him, his personality is infectious. I mean, I'm sure you guys love talking to him. He's awesome to be around. And I don't know about his car color choice, but besides that, he's earned it for sure.
Just to ask you about Henry Ruggs and his development, I know during the preseason off-season you all did a lot of work together.
Yes.
What can you say to that work that he's done and the chemistry that you two have built together?
Well, I could say that that work has boded well for him. He's obviously came in personally, physically bigger, and stronger. And his mentality, I think I talked on that, if I'm not mistaken, in like OTAs or whenever that was, that his mentality is just, I'll just say it's been so good. It's been really good. Like if he didn't have a rep that he'd like, mid-practice, he threw me the ball back. He's like, hey, man, throw that again and throw it harder, And he just – his level of excellence that he wants to be at, you could see that rising. He sees that what he's capable of doing. He's been able to do it a little bit here in games. He's done it a lot in practice. And I think it's given him confidence going into the season. And hopefully he can have some big plays for us. And, and not just – I don't mean big plays as in like catching the ball. I mean like in the run game, doing the little things right and catching that 1-yard route or catching that 5-yard slant or catching that whatever and, getting 12 and those kind of things, down in and down out. I think that his mindset is ready for that. So I'm excited to watch him. Again, we haven't played a game yet, so I'm going to just stay like this. But, I am excited to watch his growth.
Is there a curiosity level that you have about what this is actually going to look like on Monday night and how you guys are going to respond?
Yeah, I've been through my fair share of stories in my time here, and I've learned to just kind of stay like this, and try my best to stay there, even through games. I've seen so many games go like this, and then boom, at the end. Some of our seasons go like this, and at the end, boom. And if we could just maintain this level of intensity, I think I loved it. I watched Nick Saban talk about this level of intensity that you have to bring every single day. He mentioned this recently, and I love that so much. And I'm just trying to stay there. I'm not trying to get too excited. I'm not going to get down when it's hard, because every football game is hard. But I'm really just going to try and stay like this. But I think that our mindset is right and we're ready.
You're 8. You're still a young man, but like what?
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
But what consumes you as you prepare for year 8, same franchise, still a captain?
Yeah. One is my faith. I believe God gave me talents to be in this position. And anybody could be the quarterback here, but in my belief, he's allowed me to be the quarterback here. And I'm going to continue to give this thing everything that I have. I think that I've done that for 7 years. And one thing I ask myself is, how in year 8 can I be different? How in year 8 can I take it to another level? And as soon as I stop thinking that way, I'm just going to go and be at Southern Highlands hitting pitching wedges. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm going to do. But I still have this burning desire in me to hold up that trophy for the Raiders. And I don't want anything in my effort or my preparation to ever me look back and say, I wish I did that. That would have given me a better chance. And so I'm trying everything that I can on the field, off the field, with eyes looking, without eyes looking, trying to do everything I can so that our fans and our organization could have that ultimate celebration. And what a celebration that would be here in Vegas, right? But that's what keeps me going is that hunger and that desire. But right now we got a really good football team coming in here on Monday night, and you hope that all your preparation and all your hard work and extra squats and sprints and all that pays off. That's kind of what you hope. But that's the thing that keeps me going is my faith. One, because I believe that I have to give everything that I have because I'm thankful that I still have this seat. And two is for my teammates and our organization, our fans, to be able to celebrate something special.
What's your expectation and excitement level for playing in front of Raider Nation for the first time in Las Vegas on Monday?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think that preseason game, I was hyped, even though I knew I wasn't playing. Just going through pregame was awesome. Hearing our fans and, when the defense made a big hit, hearing them go nuts and things like that. That was a lot of fun. But when we're on offense, just let's try and be quiet. Let's be as quiet as we can. You can clap for first downs. We don't have to go crazy. But, hopefully let's stay quiet on offense and save all our energy for hopefully when we score and when we're on defense. But, I am excited to play in front of them. I know they'll be excited, but let's just try as best we can on offense to be as quiet as we can.
More to Sean than Willie.
Derek, obviously Brian Edwards had last season sort of disrupted by injuries, but
Yes.
came back and had a pretty strong training camp this year.
Yes.
What's the key to that translating over to live games?
Yeah, the opportunity. I think he's someone that he's definitely a pro. I would call him a pro. There are some guys, if you ask me about him, I wouldn't call them a pro. Not on this team, but in the past. But yeah, he's not. That's the guy. I wouldn't model myself like that. And he's a pro, and he does everything right. Injuries are a part of this game, and sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it happens to the best players in the world. You look at a guy like Derek Rose, like he was at the top of the game, he was so explosive and unbelievable to watch, and his knee injuries and this and that, and nothing you can do about it sometimes. With Brian, he had injuries, and with your injuries, something that, meant a lot to me, Kobe told me, he's like, okay, dominate recovery. That's what you have now. Stop feeling sorry for yourself, and you can't go back and fix it. Now dominate this. And I've watched him just dominate everything that he does every day, even when it sucked, even when he wanted to be down, even when, you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But here we are. And I think he's worked so hard to this point. I'm so proud of him, so happy for him too, that I hope that he, just has the whole world handed to him, man. I hope that he goes out and gets everything he deserves because he's worked extremely hard for it. He's definitely a guy that I would say to root for, because he has done everything he can to try and be healthy, try and be on the field. He's been available for us at practice every day, and hopefully he can go out in the games and have some big moments.
Derek, when you think back to when you were a little Pop Warner and then high school, college, rookie year, the night before the very first game every season,
Yeah.
the butterflies, whatever it may be, is it still there in year 8? What will Sunday night be like for you? Is there a book, a video, some motivational? What take us through Sunday night?
Yeah, Sunday night I'm trying to go to bed early. Obviously we'll be in a hotel, so sometimes I put the TV on, I'm watching games and all those kind of things. But it used to be different. I'll say that. Now you know what to expect. You've played in front of fans before. Some of these guys haven't played in front of fans in the NFL, which is crazy. To even say. Never thought I'd say that, but the feeling is so much different now, where I just have this locked in kind of laser focus of what I need to do. And I'm not more so hoping things go right. I'm just more reminding myself of what I need to do and what I need to get to, if that look and this and that and do this, that. And it's more of a chess game. I'm more playing the game in my head before the night, night before. And I'll do it again. The worst is the night games, because then you have the whole next day to be thinking about it all day too, And, but you go through that process and you just get ready to play. The nerves and all those kind of things don't happen anymore. It happens early on, when you're still out there trying to prove something and, you're trying to make a way in the league, trying to make this thing a career, right? I don't really feel those feelings anymore. It's more of the excitement of, being with my teammates. There's something about being in that locker room right before you walk out. There's something about, handing the ball off, to Josh and watching him go run in and everyone go celebrate. It's a beautiful thing, watching someone make a big play on defense. Those are the things that bring the excitement. But for me, I try and, again, stay like this. Early in my career, I'd get so excited, my first throw would be 8 yards out of bounds. I try my best to stay as even kill as I possibly can. Now, it's hard with the emotions of everything, but I try my best to stay like that.
Sorry, it'll be real quick, guys. You just mentioned celebrations. Have you thought about who the first person to catch a touchdown pass and then go into the nightclub will be?
Oh, gosh. Hopefully me. Hopefully it's a triple reverse and Marcus or somebody throws it to me. That'd be awesome. I don't know if I go in the nightclub. I may just throw the ball in there, but we'll see.
All right, thanks everyone.
Yep, thanks.
Your long shot at the books.
Am I a long shot?
Yannick, you can either speak for yourself or speak for the rest of the defense, but just getting to this process, how aggravated would you say the defense is of hearing Lamar Jackson's name?
I wouldn't even say we're aggravated. We're focused on ourselves. We're focused on what we have to do, our assignments. And Monday will come, and we'll handle Monday when it comes.
Yannick, all training camp, we've asked about Gus Bradley, and all we've heard is the word energy. We understand that, but confidence level going into this, how have you seen that confidence in this team come together and get ready for the start of the season? Where is this team, where is this unit at confidence-wise?
I would say just the camaraderie that we have right now. I can feel the energy with certain guys. All of our guys on defense are just gelling together. You know, it's a closer feeling than when we were in training camp. So that makes me super, super happy and confident going into this season.
Been here since the end of July as a team. Quite a runway to game one. Can you over prepare or psych yourself out for that first game?
I'm a Coach Marinelli. You know, if you see a little, you see a lot. So don't try to analyze too much when you're on the field. You know, see your little keys and make your plays. When you see little, you see a lot.
And John Harbaugh just said that Le'Veon Bell expect him to play on Monday night. I'm just curious, when you know there's going to be changes when you've game planned all week, is that big of a deal, really?
No, we just stick to what we do, like I said previously. Worry about ourselves. It's going to be the same offensive scheme. I don't know how much they can change within a few days, but just focus on ourselves and do what we're supposed to do.
What is the? I mean, I don't know if there's a secret or what's the most important aspect for the defense of stopping Lamar from what he does?
Going back to what he asked me, you know, assignment football. If you're on your assignments and on your keys, specifically as a defense, we should be able to have a lot of great fits to stop what he has going on. Not taking anything away from him. That's my guy. He's a great player, superstar. But if we do what we're supposed to do, it should be some great results.
You mentioned early on how good you and Max could be as a duo. What have you been seeing from Max? How have you continued to see his game grow?
I see a lot from Max. That's a guy that already in his third year is a super pro, super veteran. A lot of more room to grow, which is the scary part for offensive tackles that's going to face him. True leader. That's my brother. I can't wait to go to war with him.
With the recent additions of Denzel and KJ coming in, as you said, gelling and the chemistry with the entire unit over training camp, with them two arriving, has it been seamless? And how have you seen your teammates respond?
Oh yeah, for sure. Those guys fit right in. You can just tell they come from places where they had leadership roles at their position. They communicate really well, giving us the plays, and I see guys, like I said, they're gelling towards them as well. Those are our brothers now. They're wearing that black and silver, so those are our brothers, and we just take them in.
I know it's all on paper, but when you look at your defensive line, yourself, Max, Clinton, Darius, Solomon, Gerald McCoy, Cleve Farrell, it starts adding up pretty quickly. How deep is this? As deep a line as you've been a part of in your career, and potentially how good can this defensive line be?
I feel like this line is super talented. Every single defensive line group that I've been a part of brought certain attributes and different kind of talents, but this group is just as special as that 2017 defense I was a part of back in Florida. So I'm expecting a lot. Those guys you just mentioned, McCoy, Q, guys that can fly off the ball, Max, excluding myself, all these guys are ballers.
What does it mean to you that this team voted you a captain this season?
You know, it means a lot. It's something I always wanted to be. You know, my first 4 years in the NFL, and it wasn't that time for me to be that, but now it's my time, and I take the role super serious, and just want to lead by example.
You guys obviously, as a unit, feed off that home crowd. Just what are you guys feeling going into Monday night, knowing you have a full crowd?
You know, it's a blessing. You know, last year I wasn't here, but the guys told me it was kind of super quiet with no fans and things like that, but just this last preseason game, just feeling that atmosphere. You know, it wasn't even a real game, and you could just feel the energy, and I can only imagine the energy going into Monday Night Football. We're super excited.
Have the offensive coaches asked you much about defensive schemes and principles that the Ravens have?
Not yet, but any kind of information they need, I'll definitely give it to them. Yeah.
Sure.
What did you take away from your time in Baltimore? Just where do you feel like you grew or benefited the most?
I'll just say my character, just being able to handle adversity. Even though you may not be utilized the right way, you just got to know that you got to keep pushing forward. Everybody's story and journey is different.
How much has the narrative that the pass rush of this Raiders defense needs to improve kind of fueled you going into this Monday Night Football game?
I wouldn't even just say the pass rush. I just feel like overall as a defense, we have to close out games. We got to help our offense out a lot. And I really feel like we can do that if we just play assignment football.
Anything else? Great.
Yep. Perfect. Appreciate y'all.
Darren's coming in, guys, right now.
You've always talked about how important it is to you to share your story so that it helps other people and how that's kind of therapeutic for you. I think we always kind of think that's people far away, but now you have a guy on your own team and Max Crosby that said he was inspired by you, kind of followed his lead. How proud of you are you of him, and what have your conversations about with him been about his sobriety?
Yeah, I'm really proud of Max. It's not an easy thing to kind of bear that and share it publicly, so I'm proud of him for owning his story and willing to walk in that light. I mean, we just talk about real life, it's not about being perfect or, trying to make up for mistakes that we may have made in the past. It's just like, we're being real, and being upfront like that allows us to, not go forward trying to wear a mask anymore or try to act like we're strong and tough and got it all figured out. We can just be human beings and, be okay if we're not okay sometimes, and just continue to try to do our best.
Along those same lines, like everybody's talked about how much you've helped him. Has he helped you of not being alone in that in that story and having somebody to kind of publicly share that with you?
Yeah, it's nice to especially have somebody in your locker room. When the day could get a little overwhelming or just kind of long or whatever. You kind of look over and you just see him. He's kind of fighting the same battle that you're fighting. It's cool to have somebody in the trench with you like that. So lucky to have Max as a teammate.
After a long, hard camp, did you want to rip off an arm of the chocolate life-size Darren Waller?
Nah, man, I'm not. I don't have a sweet tooth like that, but it was pretty cool to see that come to life.
Somebody say you should.
I'm just trying to let my feet breathe, man. I've been running on them for the last 2 hours. Just letting them breathe right now.
Darren, how, in your assessment, in your time here, and especially in this training camp leading into his 8th season, have you seen Derek sort of just grow, and then how have you applied anything that you've learned from him to your repertoire?
Yeah, I mean, Derek shows no signs of slowing down or regressing in any way. And just to see the consistency that he has over time, that's something that I want to strive for. Just me going into my 3rd year being a starter. He's doubled that and then almost tripled that. With his career. So it's like, how do I continue to do that and continue to get better and continue to be enthusiastic about every single day and meeting new teammates and, continuing to build relationships and just, just staying in the moment and loving every single part of it. So that's what I look to him and try to study him and just, grateful to have him as a teammate and as a leader.
A couple of the young wide receivers, Brian Edwards and Henry Ruggs, that are trying to find their way in this offense. Have you seen that progression, from last year to this year for those guys?
Yeah, they seem very, sure of themselves. Even throughout the process of last year, when people may have expected more of them, they were very, level-headed and even keel. They weren't really down on themselves. So I was really impressed by their maturity, and you can see that kind of taking over now, whereas they're coming into this game not really trying to be loud or assert themselves in that way, but show that the work that they've done gives them confidence and that they're ready to go. I believe in them.
Darren, given the circumstances of Monday's game, you're playing a team that you played for at a low point of your life, and it's on your birthday and it's with fans. Can you honestly say that this game is going to mean a lot to you, or do you just see it as another game?
I mean, as a human being, I'll naturally reflect on my times there, and great. I'll be cool to see people there that I knew and had, worked with before. But I mean, it'll be a normal game for me. There's not any kind of hard feelings or resentment or anything like that. They didn't even have to give me a chance to be on the practice squad. They could have just cut me before then. Like they had no reason to bring me back, but they still did and gave me an opportunity, and that allowed me to improve upon my skills and take advantage of this opportunity when I came here. So I'm grateful for them. And once the ball is kicked off, I mean, I got plenty of things to worry about as far as scheme and, you know, just seeing how they're going to be covering me and the rest of the offense. So just be normal football.
Darren, there was a splashy move that you made with Clutch Sports, adding them to your representation. Just curious, was LeBron part of that process at all? And, you know, if you could talk us through any of that.
Yeah, I did not have a conversation with LeBron. But, yeah, that was a connection that I was able to have a couple meetings with them and see how they do things. And, you know, I just felt like it was the right decision for me to, you know, continue in this part of my career.
Yeah, we've seen you working extra on your run blocking kind of throughout camp at different times. How have you kind of grown in that area and just becoming kind of like an overall more, I guess, well-rounded tight end?
Yeah, I guess for me, as far as the run blocking, just try not to be so measured and just, you know, just kind of just fly off, you know. You know, when it comes to passing and things like that, you know, I just naturally just want to attack. With run game, sometimes I can kind of get in my head as far as angles and where I should be placing my feet and my helmet instead of just like, you know, just run off the ball and see what happens after that. So just allow myself to be more free and let, you know, the mindset be what drives the run blocking instead of trying to be so technical all the time, even though that's important.
Darren, you got a taste of it in the preseason with the game that was at Allegiant Stadium with fans and that, but you guys, the first string, didn't play. And you played in the big when Oakland is rocking. What are you kind of expecting or hoping for out of this crowd on Monday night?
I mean, kind of anticipating something that probably not too many of us have ever seen before, as far as like an energy and a buzz. You know, there are a lot of guys that have played in stadiums like Kansas City where it's just like, you know, going in, it's just going to be like an electric environment. And coming into this one, it's like, you talk about in a new city, first time, I mean, a big time opponent Monday night. So it's just like, I'm expecting something that like an environment that I've never really been in before, but seeing it in a positive way and knowing that it'll be fun to have that energy behind you, kind of lifting you up a little bit. So I'm excited about it.
Darren actually gave some advice to the fans to be quiet when the offense is on the field because they're not used to the NFL being here.
Yeah. That would be nice, you know, just guys, just when we're on offense, if the quarterback ever goes like this, just, you know, bring it down a little bit. It's going to give us an advantage, help us score more points.
Darren, we're in Las Vegas, so obviously the sports books everywhere, and it's the normal talk on TV these days. Baltimore's installed as a favorite, and those players and the league have to stay away from that sort of stuff. It's still part of the conversation. Are you guys aware that the professionals have made Baltimore the favorite? You're the underdog, and do you use that as the team use that for fuel for this?
I don't really use that for fuel. I'm sure there are guys that do. And I mean, if you just look at, you know, what Baltimore did last year, I mean, I don't think anybody is surprised by that, but I mean, we just focus on the football. You know, anytime you show up, anybody can get beat, you know, anybody can, you know, rise to the occasion and do what they need to do. And if you don't show up and do what you need to do, you have a very good chance of losing that day because there's that much talent on every team in the league. So things like that, we don't really pay attention to because we can't really control that. But, you know, we feel like we have every chance in the book to win.
What do you use for fuel personally?
For me, you know, it's just like with, you know, my life path, I feel like, you know, there's nothing promised for me. I can't go through a day and feel like I have another day that's promised. So it's, you know, treat every game like it could be my last, every play, every moment, and let those things stack up. You know, just playing with a sense of urgency. And, you know, just enjoying the game for me and enjoying being a part of a team, you know, not so much about the results or what other people may think or anything like that. It's just like enjoying the game of playing football and, you know, cherishing that opportunity.
What is this time like before a game, like in the 72 hours or whatever it is before? Is it filled with anticipation, anxiety? What kind of, it's quite a runway to get to this point.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's kind of like you want it to be here. You want to kind of pull it in and like wish it would happen now, but at the same time, it's like not trying to peak too early and just letting it flow and just letting it come when it does. So it's always a balancing process, especially the first game of the season. I mean, guys have been here, been playing football for who knows how long, and you still get nervous for the first game. It's like, you know, you get those jitters and you're trying to find a way to handle it the right way mentally and emotionally. So, you know, we're all trying to figure it out as we go too.
You spent some couple more guys dealing with an injury during training camp, you got through it, obviously starters rested, but how are you mentally as far as getting through that sort of sigh of relief that you're ready to go? Was there a concern ever? Did you know you were gonna be ready, or are you just, at this point, mentally a lot of clarity?
Yeah, I feel good about where I'm at. I was frustrated at the time and was kind of wondering, is this something that may nag me a little bit over the season or not? But I feel like the time that I was able to take helped me out a lot, and it's allowed me to be fresh right now and to be ready for Monday.
Is it weird to think that you could have an unbelievable season, you can put up great numbers, perform the way you want to, and still the expectations are at a point where it's like, well, maybe there's going to be people out there like, it's not good enough. He was better last year, or that kind of thing. Like, you have raised expectations to a point where you could be very good, and still people would think that, it wasn't enough or whatever. Is it weird to be in that position?
Yeah, and it's still tempting to want to do that and, make sure that everybody, is blown away by my performance. But, it's a lot more, peaceful on my end when I just am impressed by my own performance. If I hold myself accountable to what I do, and of course there's always going to be things I need to do better at some point in the season, but not trying to impress everybody else with my numbers is, it just helps me just stay more locked in and just enjoy the process even more.
All right. Thank you, Darren.
Thanks.
Imagine that part of Monday for you is kind of a culmination of a dream. Everyone wants to start in the NFL. You're getting that opportunity.
Yeah, man.
How do you balance that with got a job to do and a tough team to go play, and got to try to win a football game?
Yeah, it's just another day going to work. Like you said, it's been my dream ever since I started playing this game. So I'm just going into it like how I always prepare, even before I started. So I'll be ready. So I'm excited.
Leadership and bonding the chemistry off, and you talked about the brisket and the barbecue. And now that you've gone through training camp, we're about to week one. Can you just talk about how he's been as a captain leader? Your role is more involved in the offense, and just what it's been like to be one-on-one with him this whole time.
Oh, no doubt, man. Derek is a great leader. I couldn't imagine playing for another quarterback. Just leads by example, just gets everyone fired up, just ready to go. You want to play for dudes like that. True real men that he's not a faker. He's a real leader, and he means what he says. And I'll go to war for dudes like that all day. So.
The Ravens have a pretty complex and multiple front. I know you haven't played against them before in the game, but from your experience playing against those kind of teams in the past, how important does that make it just as a center from a communication standpoint to pick up those blitzes and kind of those complicated things that they do?
Right, they got a lot of different things that they do really well actually. So preparation is a big thing going into this week. We had a lot of time before this first week to break them down and see their tendencies and stuff like that. Just communicating with Derek, finding these tendencies, these patterns, the blitz patterns and stuff like that. It's just breaking down film every day, going into watch it with Coach. So I feel like we got a good plan going into it. I'm really excited.
Obviously, Andre, offensive line cohesiveness is such a big deal with you and Alex being new in there. I'm just curious how you feel it's come through camp.
Oh, it's come real well. Man, Alex he's a great guy. He's a hard worker. He comes in every day and just real quiet, but just goes to work. And you can't ask for more than that. Just do his run to work every day and put on his hard hat and just get to it. So he's an awesome guy. I'm excited to see how well he does.
Andre, something that hasn't really been covered since your time at UCLA is you having to play through kind of what happened with your father and really getting through that. Going into this first NFL game of the season, is there anything that you kind of have in the back of your mind or something that you kind of keep with you that your father gave you that's really going to help you out?
Oh, bro, everything. My dad introduced me to this game. So going out, I practice every day for him. I play every day for him. I get emotional just talking about this right now because, man, he's an awesome guy, and I still hold that close to my heart. Everything he taught me, his perseverance, his everything, man. I still hold it close to me nowadays. So
we asked Derek and Darren leading up to the game. I asked Derek about the night before. When you think back to youth football and then college and high school, right? Sunday night, take us into the hotel with you and what's going to be going through and those little butterflies and what you'll be doing, video game, TV. What's Andre James going to be doing on Sunday?
You know, I just treat it like any other night. Just relax. My night before the game routine is usually just get in pretty early, get some good sleep. I like to listen to music. You know, sometimes just even keep my mind off of football is sometimes the best for me that I find. Just stay relaxed. And so that's what I'm going to continue to do.
Kanye or Drake?
Oh, that's a hard one, man. I like the new Drake album. I can't lie. I like the new Drake album. That's a winner for me.
Are you and Colton walking around a little bit with UCLA doing what they've been?
Oh yeah, man. We had some comments at Foster. You know.
Blue shirt.
Yeah, sissy blue shirt. We're gonna get him one of those for sure.
So on that note, what's your thought of the local kid, Dorian Thompson-Robinson?
Oh man, DTR. You know, my last year I got to play with him there. That was his rookie year. Dude's a baller, bro. I'm excited. It's awesome to see his development and how he's continued to grow through everything that's gone through there. So, hats off to him, bro. He's killing it.
How much pressure do you guys feel as a group, as the offensive line, thinking, hey, last year the offense was really good and you're trying to maintain that level, and a lot of talk is the only thing that really changed is the offensive line. There's been some other things, but how much pressure do you guys kind of carry with you about that?
Right. I don't feel any pressure. I just, like I said, it's just another day at work for me. Just excited for the opportunity. Just continue to grow as an offense. You know, we've meshed together really well. Just the amount of practice we've had, feeling really comfortable with it.
Andre, what's the biggest area of improvement you feel like, either on or off the field, that you feel like you've made since you had to go in and play in the Lions your rookie year and play in that game afterwards to now?
I think the biggest thing is just the mental aspect to it. You know, going from tackle to center, you're required to make a lot of the calls. You know what I mean? At tackle at UCLA, I wasn't expecting to do a lot of that. So I feel like the biggest component was definitely the mental aspect of it. When Cable and Rodney helped me out a lot with that when I got here. So.
That's good.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Devin Troy's coming in now, guys.
My SI writers.
I know it's a tough act to follow. Some people are already leaving. No, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening for a moment. You know, I just wanted to go over, obviously, health and safety for us is our number one priority. And so we've obviously implemented a mandatory vaccination policy for everyone at the stadium, ages 12 and over. So anyone over the age of 12 can be in the stadium if they're vaccinated without a mask. The goal for us is to be able to create the game day environment that we all love and enjoy. We want the fans to be able to celebrate. We want the fans to be able to gather. We want the fans to be able to have their friends and cheer on the team the way they love to do it. So that's the goal. In order to accomplish that goal, we partnered with Clear. We partnered with Clear in order to provide an easy entry mechanism for vaccine verification. That vaccine verification only takes about 5 minutes to do. You only need to do it one time for the entire season. You can do it right now. When you do it, it's good for the entire season for every game. In order to do it, you can go to Raiders.com/clear. It has all of the instructions, a complete instructional video, a step-by-step flow chart that describes every situation and how to enter the stadium in the easiest way possible based on your circumstances. Again, it takes only 5 minutes to do, and we're hopeful that everybody is proactive and does it well before game day. You don't want to wait till game day to do it. You don't want to delay your entry into the stadium, and so being proactive is the most important thing. Again, Raiders.com/clear. Also just wanted to go over some of the scenarios and make sure that there's an understanding of how to make the process efficient regardless of your circumstances. And so in the event that somebody's partially vaccinated or in the event somebody has an international vaccination card, or for children that are 12 or 13 who are vaccinated, they need to go to an alternate screening. We're opening that alternate screening over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday in order to decrease traffic at those locations. So on the north end of the stadium, that'll be open from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. So we encourage anyone who needs to go through that alternate screening process to do that at the stadium from 1 to 6 on Saturday or Sunday. It'll make your entry on game day easier. If you're partially vaccinated and go through the alternate screening, you'll be allowed to come into the game, but will have to wear a mask during the game. You'll receive a wristband identifying that so that you can comply with the directive and keep everybody safe. In addition to that, we'll offer on-site vaccinations for anybody who makes the last-minute decision to get the vaccine. We welcome that. We'll have that on-site vaccination active during Monday's pregame. And when you get the on-site vaccination, you'll then be allowed to enter the game immediately with wearing a mask in the same way as somebody who would have been partially vaccinated elsewhere. Again, the goal really is to just create certainty, to create an opportunity for everybody to know that the stadium can be full all season long, that you can enjoy the game in the way that you love to enjoy it. Have your food and drink, gather with your friends, celebrate, cheer on your team, and not have to worry about masks, not have to worry about your safety, not have to worry about yourself or the person next to you. So we're proud to have led on this. I think we see that the country generally is following that lead. We're proud to have been first on it, and we know it's going to create a great game day experience for everyone. So in the event anybody has questions, I'm happy to answer them, but wanted to make sure that that information was out there, and appreciate your tolerance following what I'm sure were more exciting interactions.
You guys were aggressive in taking a leadership role on this. It's not always popular and all that. We know that. But as you're walking your fans through this, what's been the reaction from them? And do you feel like that learning experience has gone pretty smoothly?
Yeah, we feel like the reaction's been overwhelmingly positive. We obviously did not want to put anyone in a situation they were uncomfortable with, so we offered the opportunity for people to roll their tickets forward for next season or to get a refund. We had very few people take advantage of that, and we obviously have great enthusiasm for the game, and we expect a full house that celebrates in the way we all love to celebrate on Monday.
Hey, Dan, this is Tashari for you.
Hi.
When you have maybe a fan that buys a ticket off of a resale market, how are they kind of informed about the policies or something built into those different systems where it lets them know that they have to go through the clear, or is it something that they kind of just have to know about?
Yeah, great question. So when you purchase a ticket through one of those resale mechanisms, there is a notice screen that comes up during the purchase that explains the requirement and directs you back to the locations where you can do the verification.
Ed Green from the Review Journal. So when you did this, did you hear from other teams? Do you think they'll use you as an example and watch how it goes? I assume you'd love for everyone to follow suit behind you. I don't know if that's going to happen, but have you heard from other teams of kind of going through the process?
Sure, we'd love for everyone to follow, but honestly, we did it just because it was the right thing to do, and we did it because of the experience that we want to create in the building. So we hope everybody follows, but we know it was the right thing to do, and that really drove the analysis. But we have heard from several other teams. We've heard from several other people in the industry. We also have heard from other local businesses because at our business here in headquarters, we've had a mandatory vaccination policy since May. And so we've led not just in the building with the fans, but in the business community as well.
What's the concern with the amount of time that it may delay people entering the stadium, checking all the clear apps in terms of the extra time that's going to allow to get people into the gates?
Yeah, we've worked with a couple of efficiency partners to understand how to stagger that entry in a way that creates the most efficient review of the app screen and then the scanning of the ticket. So we're confident that we have the best solution there to get everybody through the gates efficiently. Also, being proactive, like we're saying, having fans do it before they get to the building, do it well before game day, and trying to make sure that that message gets out that regardless of your circumstances, getting it done in advance is going to make everybody's entry experience easier. And so doing things like this and hoping that that word gets out in every way we possibly can, communicating through our website, on all of our social channels, through our partners, has really been a priority because we're trying to create the most efficient entry possible.
In your conversations with Clear and you know, learning about this whole, I'm sure you guys are learning along with everybody else too about how it all works. How confident are they, or what have they communicated to you in how well they do in terms of weeding out fraud and scams and that sort of thing?
Yeah, we've had conversation with them about that, and that's why we wanted to go with a trusted partner who's the gold standard in doing this, and understanding that their process of understanding what the documents should look like and verifying their authenticity was something that we wanted to make sure we had the very best and most expert of people doing. In fact, even on our on-site secondary screening, we're working with community ambulance to make sure it's medical professionals who are around that screening so that we can verify that we're really genuinely addressing the need.
Are you able to track right now how many people are actually downloading it from your fan base? Or is it just going to strictly be when they show up, that's when those numbers are going to start coming across?
We can track some numbers, and we're encouraged by them, but obviously it's all tied to email addresses. So if you don't use the same email address for your ticket as you do for your Clear verification, it's somewhat imperfect, but we're encouraged by the total volume that we've seen.
You guys all set? Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much.